thank Government of Andhra Pradesh, especially MD, APSSDC, as well as Principal Secretary Skill Development for giving this opportunity to facilitate or moderate this event, very prominent event. As my preceding moderator already explained the intention of this second session, especially second segment of presentation. So moreover, we will be discussing on the prominence like academia, especially what is that any state government wants to achieve in terms of academia. So there is a plan of, this is happening from long back in AP. AP government is very ambitious, in fact. So they wanted to establish one skills university at the apex level, which will actually act as a nodal agency for the entire skill development ecosystem in the state. So far, it has been like a lot of efforts made in terms of studying the models, existing models. If you see across the country, there are 12 skills universities existing in the market. Like out of them, there are 8, I think probably, or private universities, rest of them are government universities. So the establishment of skills university itself is a very nascent idea. So currently, government of AP wants to explore an idea of establishing skills university as part of the skill cascading ecosystem. As part of this, so this final session, I want to be very precise because I will touch upon the aspect of establishing skills university with the guidance of esteemed panelists who are sitting here on the dais. So we may request every panelist here to touch upon the idea how to go about establishment of skills university. What are the differences between the conventional universities which are there in the state currently? So these are distinguished guests, means with the experience they carry forward, probably I'm very fortunate to moderate such kind of a session. So I request everyone who is part of this panel to throw some light, especially for the government of AP to move forward in terms of establishing an apex level body and which can foster the innovation skill development ecosystem in the state of Andhra Pradesh. So meanwhile, along with this, we have a distinguished key speaker for today, the final session, Shri RCM Reddy Garu, MD and CEO, Schoolnet India Limited and Learnet Skills Limited, who has connected with us virtually. So it might take some time. So meanwhile, I will start with the moderation session. So I would request Mr. Chahat Mishra from Oxford University to throw us some light in terms of like Oxford University has been proven its record in terms of implementing a lot of international programs which have been recognized globally. So what are the unique initiatives taken up by Oxford University in terms of internationalization, which is leading to the enhancement of employability for the youth of Andhra Pradesh? That is the first thing. Second thing, what are your suggestions in terms of achieving industry academy of collaborations is the second thing. Probably we might have touched a lot of points today since beginning, morning to evening, we have been discussing about industry academia relations. I just request you to make out something in tandem or in aligned to the requirement of skills university establishment. That is the request from my end.
Thank you very much, Mr. Purushotham. It's indeed an honor, and I'd like to first thank the government of Andhra Pradesh for taking this amazing initiative to organize a National Skill Conclave. It's great to see good friends, Gareth, nice to see you in the audience as well. And just to mention what Mr. Purushotham is asking as the need of the hour, as what universities can do to impart those skills which are required. I would say the skills of the 21st century, which institutions need to inculcate in their students. And I think time is passing by. Today, over the course of the day, we saw a lot of our speakers across the other panels talking about the emergence and the surge of AI and other emerging technologies, generative AI and so on and so forth. But amidst that, what are private universities doing? I represent one such institution called Watson University in Hyderabad. It's in the state of Telangana. We are a state private university, now 10 years of existence. We are having 7 schools: business, arts and design, architecture, liberal arts and humanities, law and sciences. Now, I mean, having a university is good, but what is the purpose of running such a university? So we came into the existence with the focus that we want to promote job creators and not job seekers. So that was the basic premise because of which Watson was built. The founder himself is an entrepreneur. We wanted to build an entrepreneurial mindset amongst the youth community in India. So that was the premise into when we started. Now, over the next few years, our focus delved deeper into internationalization, corporate alignment, ERS initiatives, some call it ESGs. So our focus towards community service. Now, just to add on to what the question is, of what are the unique initiatives that Watson is doing. So I'd like to share. So if you see universities across India, private or state universities do have centers of excellences. And today, as we talk about the skills, upskilling and reskilling, so it is important that universities not just set up centers of excellence for the sake of it, but also ensure that the students are involved right from the start to ensure that they are learning in the process. Say, for example, we've built up various centers of excellences, and now they are in 2 categories. One is under the control of the faculty members, and another one is centers of excellences which are purely student driven. Now, what is the beauty of such a center of excellence is that students have the complete ownership of running a center in association with the government. Sometimes it could be a private funded, sometimes it could be a non-funded, but students are involved in and out. We have centers on digital economy, blockchain technologies, South Asian studies, so on and so forth. So there are various categories, digital marketing, of course the list is not. But to involve students right from the start is very, very critical, and how we are also involving them to interact with the partner universities. So we are currently working with 140 universities across the globe. Now, majority of our partnerships are in Europe. As I said, we have a very strong focus on internationalization. So currently we see that our students are working along with peers in the partner institutions and are also boards. So, for example, institutions around the world, be it Harvard or Stanford or MIT or all the top institutions that you see, or maybe the Russell Group in the UK, they do have an international advisory board. But have we thought about having an international student advisory board? So that is something which we also did, and we went back and gave that liberty to our students. Another interesting area is giving the students that freedom to design the curriculum. Now, as much as we require the support of the industry professionals, right? So we've been talking about how do we bridge the industry-academia gap, and one such interesting comment that came from the very first panel, I'm forgetting the name of the speaker, but the speaker did mention that, the industry, we tend to see, universities tend to see industry as placement agents, and that's the sorry state of affairs. As a society, and being in India, I don't want to comment on that, but with complete due respect, I would also mention that if you see other universities, be it in the UK, be it in Europe, in the entire European Union, or in America, you will see students that are not having this in their mind right from day one, that they want a certain amount of package by the end of 2 years or 4 years. Sadly, we are in a society that we have glorified the idea of placements. And this has originated from institutions that have been in existence for quite a while, be it IIMs or IITs. I've been debating this on a personal capacity in various forums, that industry should not be seen as a placement agent. Because the moment we see that, and the moment we start giving more, or we start glorifying placements, I think the more it sort of brings the downfall for an institution. So that is one aspect. Another is collaborative online international learning. So as an institution, what we have also done is we are working hand in hand with other partner universities across the globe, where students are working in global classroom projects, where they are in a time-bound setup within, say, a 3 or a 4-day, sort of like a hackathon, where they are working with their peers across the institutions, co-guided by mentors from the home institution and the host institution. So things like that, models like that, I think we need to develop and nurture more. As an institution at Watson, we are also very strong when it comes to emerging technologies. We've already started working on metaverse as well as on generative AI. We are focused on also ensuring that the faculty members start teaching on metaverse. So we have developed something called as the Watsonverse, where we are developing certain prototypes of projects that can be utilized in the classroom learnings as well. So that is something which we have developed through our AI Research Center, which is now working along with a couple of government and corporate entities across the world. That is another aspect. Then something interesting which I'd like to highlight is a global citizenship program. Have we ever thought about that we need to come up with a program that creates students to be, or molds the students to be future, or I would say the global citizens of the world? Now, what we did is, we are now in the process of developing something around a global citizenship program, where there will be different modules, right from giving them an understanding of geopolitics, psychological aspect, as well as more on the soft skills linked with the industry, government, and so on and so forth. So there are various modules. Now, having that, being given as an access to not just the home, the students in your home, but also the community around. So we have developed that, and we see that that's going to be adding more to the skill development space. Another interesting area which I'd like to add on is international capstone projects. What we have also done is, we have collaborated with professors from Harvard, MIT, Stanford, IMD Switzerland, and so on, where we have mandated that as part of a UG as well as a PG program, we need to have a 1 credit per semester at the UG level and 2 credit per semester at the PG level, where there is a mandatory course module-wise. So say, for example, if in the current semester we are focused on sustainability for the 21st century, the next semester we can focus on geopolitical landscape, and that could be somewhere centered around European Union and India relations. So giving students that flavor, and also talking about the skills which is centered around emerging tech, financial services. So if we combine that and package it around mandatory credited courses, I think that is also something which will add on. The last thing which I'd like to also mention, I would say the penultimate, because I will have one more last comment. We developed a Center for Languages and Multicultural Communication. Now, what is the emphasis of that is that we have collaborated with our partners in Spain and France, where the idea is we want to ensure that students are applying the linguistics, the applied multicultural, and that multi-communication sort of an understanding, and it should not be forgotten. So that is also something which we have developed through our center. Another, and I would say the last thing which any institution in India perhaps is not talking about, and we have taken right now the lead on that, is the direct, interlinked, I would say, sort of linkage between industry, academia, as well as diplomacy. So I do not see, or if my understanding is wrong, please feel free to correct me. I do not see an institution in India right now, so far, that has given an easy and a direct access of heads of states, of, say, for example, former heads of states, where our students are rubbing shoulders with them. Now, what is the benefit of having, say, former presidents or prime ministers of different countries come up and deal, or I would say interact directly with the students, guide them, advise them on different capacities? So we developed that through something known as a diplomats club, as well as a house of diplomats. Now this works as an advisory body where we are inviting presidents, prime ministers of countries across the globe. One such former prime minister of a European Union country visited our campus just last month, and we are now, planning for more such visits from Africa, from America, and so on, Latin America. So institutions need to also focus on bringing diplomacy closer to academic institutions, giving that perspective of geopolitics, I would say, a very, first level and a direct understanding coming right from the government, from the horse's mouth. So that is my take, and I'd like to pass it on to the moderator.
Thank you so much, Shahat. So it's been like, it's a detailed explanation. In fact, you are in most enterprising state. So a lot of collaboration aspects can be explored here. So I would like to move on to the key speaker address. We have RCM Reddy Garu waiting online to give his key speaker address. Sir, if you are there. Yeah. Sir, just a minute, sir. You are not audible. Just give us 1 minute. I think you are not
I've
audible.
been waiting for the past 1 hour. Is it going to get connected or not?
Sir, just a minute, sir. Just a minute, sir. Sir, you are not audible, sir. Just give us a minute. You are not audible.
Hello?
Continue, sir. Your voice is up.
వినిపిస్తుంది
sir.
Yes, sir.
So, but
you are audible.
am I addressing the conference or I'm not able to see anything?
Sir, sir, you are addressing the conference. All panelists and the audience are waiting for your
Yeah,
delivery.
you are in head office, no?
No, sir. I'm in a conference hall.
Hello? Huh? No, but I'm audible, but am I connected to the conference, I'm asking? Has it started? So I can deliver my lecture now? Oh, okay. So since I'm not able to see the conclave, maybe a technical problem, but a very, very good evening to all of you. And first of all, my compliments to APSSDC, Dr. Vinod, and the entire team APSSTC for organizing this conclave. And particularly this topic coming to this, my specific panel topic that was given was transforming education system to address the challenges of industry-ready students, role of skills universities. So this is the topic I'm supposed to speak. And before I talk about the specifics, my hypothesis, can they hear? Because again, I see something. Okay. So my hypothesis is, first of all, the way we actually conceptualize skills, skill development is normally seen as something which is meant for those youth, what we call need, not in education, employment and training. But what is required is skill development has to be integrated and should become internal part of education system, which means skills should be imparted while they're part of schools, skills should be imparted while the students are part of this college system, should be imparted while the students are doing their any other post-graduation meeting. So skills need to be embedded as part of education system. Then only the eventual integration can happen. Otherwise, anything else we do, this is sort of what you call a sort of plumbing work. It is not really kind of fundamental structural transformation thing. So the new education policy also fortunately recommends very strongly integration of skills into formal education system. That is the ultimate solution to actually address the challenges related to skilling, industry and academia. But how do you do that? How do you do that? And there are already a lot of experiments being done in the schools. You know, the school education department through their program, skills are being imparted for the students while they are inside the schools. Colleges, now the National Vocational Education Assessment Certification Body, UGC, AICTE, they all came up with the framework for credentializing, for integrating skills into higher education as well. So there is a framework that is available today for formal integration of skills into education. If we do that, we don't have to have an external standalone short skilling, short-term job building, private sector driven training partners kind of ecosystem that exists today is not required if we are able to actually embed this. So A is that there is a need. There is a need to go beyond conventional way of looking at skills for those unemployed youth out of schools, out of college, out of jobs thing, and they need to be part of the formal education system. I was there in Deshpande Foundation. Some of you know Deshpande Foundation in Hubli. They run a massive skill development program. One of the successful things that they do is college graduates program. They partner with the government colleges and degree, BA, BSc, BCom, because as you know, some of you would know the statistics, the highest unemployment is in the graduates. If your literacy levels are low, you will somehow get some job or other. But if you are graduate, I'm talking about general graduates, unemployment rates are extremely high. So Deshpande Foundation, their model is that they work with the degree colleges, and as a part of that CSR, students tend to pay 50% of the money. They support from corporate social responsibility remaining 50%. Government provides access to the college. So in terms of providing access, building, etc. Those skills that they impart for final year students are also available for the students who passed out in the neighborhood. As a result, you are utilizing very, very effectively the existing kind of infrastructure. And also, since students pay part of the fee, there is also ownership. Now, the industry that they brought in, and they identified 4 sectors: IT, IT-enabled services, and they also identified the banking financial, like TCS. I was there, I don't know in the conference whether TCS representative is there or not. TCS runs a program called Youth Employability Initiative. So TCS has been brought in. They actually gave the kind of requirements that they are looking at for recruitment. So TCS is the industry body, the colleges is the academia, and the expertise of program implementation comes from Deshpande Foundation. I think if we can do that, the problem that we are trying to solve, the address is that industry readiness, transforming education system is eminently achievable. Let's take the same example in, say, Visakhapatnam, where the conclave is happening. Degree college in Visakhapatnam area, and two types of skills to be imparted. One is fundamental skills of English, digital literacy, communication. One biggest, since I am from that part of the country, I know how difficult the students find to write even one paragraph good English. They may be doing very bright, but ability to write, articulate English is a big issue. So language skills, digital literacy, and business communication, bit of Excel, these kind of skills being taught, that is a foundation level, everybody to be trained. And you do all that, they will become eligible for employment in sales, retail, marketing, and the call centers, financial services, banking, everything. Over and above that, then we can bring the sectoral banking and financial services program. We can bring in sales and retail marketing and healthcare. Like these verticals can be brought in. Once we identify the vertical where there are local jobs, local industries can be brought into that. And thereby they provide what the requirement, they provide the content, they do interview preparedness. For example, in the case of Deshpande Foundation, Hubli district I talked about, the interview preparedness is done by the employers. They actually come and take them through, they also contribute. TCS Youth Employability Program also has a concept of volunteers, employees volunteering the work. So they actually teach them. I think that's one model that is in work, that is already working, and probably that can be studied and can be replicated. The other point is, see, when we say about education, there is a technical, there is vocational, there is the school, there is a higher education. These stakeholders plus industry being brought together. First of all, entire education system brought together. The best thing that's happening is that at Government of India level, the higher education, the National NCVT, as well as ASCT, UGC, Higher Education Ministry, School Education, and the Skills Ministry. There is extreme level of coordination, very, very close level of coordination. Lot of frameworks are coming up. It's a question of appropriately designing a particular model and then take it up. Let's take the Polytechnic in, say, in Anantapur, around that area where Kia Motors is there. Can we actually develop the curriculum and entire for automobile industry, for ITI and politics around? The Kia acts as the industry body. Then we can bring in the entire college graduates. When I say college means, I mean diploma, degree and all this. They're being trained as per the requirement. I think that's eminently possible. And the rest of the things you're all aware, and very, very eminent panelists are around, and a lot of discussions must have gone through. My only parting comment and suggestion is that in India, when we talk about vocational skills, everybody knows the problem. Everybody knows the possible solutions. What is missing is high quality execution. If we can actually put our thoughts together and get into design stage. When we design an intervention, unfortunately in India, we don't pay much attention to the design. Let's get the design properly by engaging all the stakeholders. Not necessarily someone in the ministry, government thinks this works. That alone cannot be. Get everybody, spend quality time, design a model that is workable, realistic, and yet ambitious. Once we design, get on to the execution. Execution is the key. For every execution, you have to have an ecosystem. And you have to have an ecosystem manager. If there are 4 stakeholders, and all four stakeholders, there's someone who has to coordinate. That ecosystem, I would say ecosystem manager, or an implementation partner. It could be industry, it could be private training provider, it could be college. If you get the design right, if you get the implementation framework right, that ecosystem, and get one implementation manager, ecosystem manager in place, and divide this into clusters and hubs, Vizag, Vijayawada, Tirupati, Anantapur, some of these clusters you identify. At a cluster level, these programs can be brought. And it's eminently doable. Thank you for the invitation and all the best. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable message. So, as you said rightly, the integration of vocational education into the conventional education is the way ahead for any skill, any educational developed education ecosystem. So, reason why NEP 2020 has been rolled out, most of the states have started implementing it, and probably AP is the first state to quickly adapt the nuances of NEP 2020. And it is running like leading state in terms of implementing best practices, including internships and everything. So when we talk about vocational education, so I will come back to the Skills University point again. So Skills University is also one of the component clearly mentioned under NEP 2020 establishment of state level universities, which can guide the overall ecosystem in the state. So we thought of reaching out to some expert universities already established, operational in the country. One such university is Centurion University, which was established in 2000, enacted as private university in 2010, and 2017 it has been conferred with the Skills University status. So I would request Professor Prasanta Kumar Mohanty to throw us some light on in terms of establishing a Skills University in AP perspective. What is the road ahead for it, for successful establishment of such university?
Thank you, Krishna. Good evening to honorable members, co-panelists and delegates in this room. With my personal experience and the university experience for a decade doing skilling at various levels, we have developed 3 levels of skilling. Skilling for school dropout, which has more than 5 lakhs people we have trained and placed. We have done skill integration at a higher education, and we are also into reskilling and upskilling for the people who are already employed working in this. Now, when we talk about skilling, we have to understand that what is that skilling we talk. Skilling meaning it is leading to a competency for a specific job role. Now, if you are not clear about what kind of competency you are building and for what kind of job role, then it becomes a problem for learner as well as a facilitator. So that has to be very clearly defined, that the kind of students we have in the university, what kind of job skill they require and what kind of competency for that job role is important, that we need to redefine. The second thing, that in a university like whether it's a skill or a traditional university, we have multiple disciplines. We don't focus only on engineering and technology. We have science, we have arts, commerce, management, and many other disciplines. Paramedic, agriculture and lot. How do you provide a right skill to the right candidates? And that too at a higher education level. The person we have seen come across, they have already completed 12 years of education, do not have any aspiration or even passion for a specific skill because of the kind of education they are getting into. So now we talk about skill education and we talk about passion, we talk about aspiration. How do you bring that into the student's mind? There comes multidisciplinary approach. The NEP facilitates us today that you need to allow a student, whatever degree he joined, don't give a degree as a namesake. Say that you are a student of this university and you have a choice. Wherever, whichever class you like, go and sit and learn it. And that kind of flexibility in the framework of program we need to be developed, which we have done it. So a student of physics, for example, can go and sit in the BLSI class where the chip design is happening. Or maybe a chemistry student can go to a PCB design class and understand the material composition and all. Or maybe a design class in mechanical to understand the automotive components and the material to be developed based on the product that we are aiming at. So that kind of exposure and ecosystem is to be created within the university. The second is we have to abolish those practice labs. The pedagogy is very important. We have to understand it is no more A's are there that you have to confirm the same law by doing the same practices. It has already been confirmed. So you don't have to confirm again and again having it, going to a lab class and do the same experiment and then come out. It is not creating an interest. So can we create some production lab? Because skilling is all about experience and learning. It's not just sitting in the classroom and listen to a lecture. It could be a mix of everything. And that comes out of your hands-on. It's again a multidisciplinary approach. The students from various disciplines coming together and working on a particular problem statement to find a solution. So can we allow our students to go and sit in a class wherever he is interested, get the credit accumulated, and finally give a degree, whatever you want? Because that is how the approach has to change in university level. At least the student can, with his interest, can get into a class and have an interest to learn it. The third thing is that when we're talking about building an ecosystem, developing a facility in the campus, there are two things facility comes to. One is the industry intervention in terms of creating production lab or a kind of ecosystem where people will get a lot of hands-on experience or experiential learning. The second is the faculty training. See, faculty, how do you do it? It's so ever-changing. The scenario is changing so fast. Faculty for a faculty is impossible to up to date with the current technology. So there comes the professional in practice where you have to bring in industry people together, develop curriculum. We call it as BTT, build, train, and transfer. So we develop a basket of skill courses and a basket of domain courses, which is supported by industry person, and that is offered once by them, where in the same class, teacher and students become a co-teacher. The teacher has to be a co-teacher, co-learner. Otherwise, that mindset will never, that environment will never change. So faculty has to sit with the students, learn from that class, and then the faculty is also trained and it goes for the next. The another experience which we have done it, when we talk about vocationalization, we explore about hands-on. We have taken our own ITI students. We have taken our own diploma students, giving them skill courses to teach even into BTech students also. So that kind of paradigm shift has to be there, where the entire ecosystem of the campus feel that, yes, I have something here to learn, and there is an avenue, there is a place, there is a scope for learning it, and from there it takes lead. I think that kind of ecosystem has to be built in a university.
Yes. Thank you, Professor. So it's a detailed explanation, in fact. So my question actually will go to Professor K. Padmaraj Garu. So I just request you, sir. So we are still trying to get an idea how to go about establishing the skills university. What is your suggestion in terms of, like, shall we go with the university model or institute model is my first question. Second thing, in terms of adopting the NEP. So where we are standing in the state, like university perspective, where we are standing, what is the way ahead? These are the two things I just wanted to.
Thank you very much, Purushotham. Respected co-panelists, delegates, very warm good evening to each one of you. At last, the State University got a chance. I'm really happy. I'm representing the State University, which is having the multi-disciplinary things, a lot of constraints. I'm not Oxford University or but as a person with more than 3 decades experience as Director of Secondary Engineering Professor, now I'm heading a conventional university, Adikavi University, Adikavi. I should thank the state government for wonderful initiatives as far as NEP 2020 is concerned. We are first in the country in many aspects. And in fact, there is a 10 months mandatory internship. In the first year, second semester of the degree students, there is a community engagement. 2 months they move along with the people, identify the problems, try to understand their destiny in the context. 3 years, and in future. Coming to the second year, there is 2 months mandatory internship. Then in final year, third semester again, and third year again, 6 months mandatory internship. And we have already, in fact, introduced single major and minor concept and 4-year honors degree. And we are first in the country implementing NEP 2020. Actually, in many concepts, see, NEP 2020 talks a lot about teaching in mother tongue. Even yesterday, we got letters from USC identifying the experts in writing local language. And my feeling is, especially to the leaders here, we talk many things in this forum, which cater to needs of 20%, mostly engineering and top students. But 80% students are from rural background, mostly from mother tongue. Not only students, your faculty also lacks motivation. A lot of problems in the conventional universities. But don't forget, we cater to the needs of 400 affiliated colleges, biggest in Andhra Pradesh. More than 1,25,000 students, we cater to the needs. But the problems of conventional university are different. A good communication is you can do in Telugu also. The only thing is how best you communicate. That is my idea. And in fact, there are our curriculum itself has 30% skill development, skill courses are introduced as part of new courses last year. And this community engagement, 10 months internship, all this are part of NEP 2021. And whatever this has been wonderfully done, we are slowly going from a conventional way to single major and minor system and multiple executive, multiple entry system. The first year we are going to give a certificate. Second year we are dropping out, we are giving diploma. Third year we are giving degree. Fourth year we are giving honors degree. And the multiple exit level, multiple entry, we are giving freedom to come back and join. And already we have implemented a academic bank of rates. We are ready to take rates from anywhere in the surface of Earth. And we give credit for that, provided they meet our requirements. And in fact, almost more than 3 lakhs internships, like IT giants, like in Microsoft and all, we did. The government has done it. It's a history. And more than 2 lakh certifications. It's not a joke. We have done that. We have nothing else yet. And actually, coming to the other thing, skill university, how it should be and all. As I already told you, more than 3 decades, we are talking a lot about academia and industry. Should speak the fact, a lot of gap, even after 3 decades, as I observed. As rightly said by somebody, the gap, the degrees, that's all. But how many industry people are really ready to handhold the institute? See, now that the industry also should think about the academia, should not think that this process can't do anything. That means students, they can't do anything. See, we are posting a lot about the young talent, and we are saying that India is going to be young when in a few years. If this energy is not channelized properly, that is a real threat to the country.
Yes.
So really appreciate the state government initiative of thinking of skill university or developing or empowering our universities with skill centers and all. Really wonderful. But before I tell you how to think of hand-holding of the academia, there's recently Ansandhan National Research Foundation 2020, the bill has passed in the parliament in August. As part of that, government will think of how to fund the universities, particularly the conventional universities. See, why I'm telling about conventional universities and state universities is we charge just a paltry amount of 10,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees per semester. Unlike other big universities charging around 2 lakhs or 2.5 lakhs. And we cater to the needs of really needy people. So, government should handhold the state universities with the fund like National Research Funding, Foundation through Foundation. They can have an engagement between industry, institute, establishing the research lab in the university, and taking the expert in that field anywhere in the world. The intellectual property is the property of the institute, industry, and the export anywhere in the globe. So this is one best example how we can improve the skill of an engineer, skill of an basic science. See, if I tell you very frankly, day by day, the love towards sciences is being reduced, which is a threat to engineering also, even to IT also. See, there are no takers in MSc Physics, MSc Mathematics, MSc Botany, or MA History, or MA Economics. There are no takers outside. We should be very, very careful. We should encourage the conventional universities because other universities, they concentrate on mostly on computer program. If you take the total intake, more than half will be in computer science. But ours is not like that. We cater to every aspect of science and social sciences. So, what I am trying to say is, we should think of a collaboration between industry, institute, and experts in various fields, so that we can form a nice collaboration between. We can decrease the gap between the academia and the industry. Coming to how the skill university to be, as rightly mentioned. Already, government has taken steps. In every assembly constituency, one skill center will be there, skill hub will be there, and in every parliamentary constituency, one hub will be there. And then together, there will be a Apex University and the central body. This is a wonderful concept, but the thing is, it should be a part of all other universities. See, I tell you one very, very important concept. All other universities listen. We had a Godavari cluster, like APHD, Andhra Pradesh Higher Education Board. We had clusters. We had Godavari cluster as a member, as a conventional university, Adikavi Nannaya University is a member. And other members is Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University. Other universities, AP NIT, Tadapalli, and the fourth one is YSR Horticulture University. See, we are working in unison. We are working together. See, we are not in silos. We are talking to each other. As universities are able to talk with different types of functioning. Horticulture University, Technological University, Conventional University. What we are able to do is, I can tell you an example, and we will stop here. See, Horticulture University has come with a problem of distributing the pesticides on the crops. What is happening is most of the pesticide is being wasted because it's dropping from the leaves. Then they came to us. Our pharmacy people have given a solution. They made it a blue type without altering the chemical properties so that it can stick onto the leaves. Then the problem is again, most of the pest is under the leaves, not on the leaves. So APNIT has given a solution with the drones spraying from the down. So what I'm trying to say is, when people talk to each other, leaving their silos, definitely can create wonders. I request all the industry people, please talk to the universities. Definitely, we can create miracles. Thank you, sir.
Very good suggestion, sir. In fact, very base, it has certain base when you are saying that point, like dialogue between the universities, at the same time dialogue between industry and academia. So there is a, if I have to remind someone here, like there is an act called ECNV Act, Navya madam might be knowing it because she's leading that department. So Employment and Exchanges Compulsory Vacancy Notification Act, where all the industries within the district premises have to periodically communicate their vacancies to the employment exchanges placed in the district. So that is where like even that role is there for every industry and employment exchange in the district, but it is not happening at the expected pace across the country. There is an immediate challenge ahead for anyone to create such awareness. One of the panelist member was mentioning earlier, awareness is one thing what we are lagging behind, because NEP is a wonderful document which has been created, which is already been rolled out. Many industries and many institutes, in fact, I'm happy to say that I'm part of this such a successful state, which is so confident in implementing NEP and went ahead, offered 3 lakh internships. It's a great move to altogether. At the same time, apart from that also, conventional education also, skill development is also one of the major subjects, because 5 lakh graduates are passing out every year looking for some sort of employment. To reduce the unemployment rate, which is there prevalent in the market, there should be one mechanism which should address the skill gap, which can offer the capsule kind of a skill training program to the student and place them in the employment. That is the immediate challenge ahead. Reason why the emphasis on skills university is coming up, which can actually foster the entire ecosystem. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your
You are
input.
talking of employment.
Yes, yes.
Just to add one point, actually, I was Andhra Pradesh Public Service Commission member for the last 6 years, and then recently joined as Vice-Chancellor. When I visited other states there, how it happens is the employment up to 80% is automatically to go to Public Service Commission.
Yes, yes.
There is no need of finance clearance involved. And moreover, there are no employment exchanges in other states, like Kerala. The Public Service Commission itself is an employment exchange.
Understood. Yes, yes.
That reduces what I use. Thank you.
Got your point, sir. So my next question is to Professor G. Gnana Garu. So, sir, when we are talking about internships, universities, role and everything, so I just want your suggestion in terms of like establishment of, again, the question is same, but we want to get few more opinions so that we'll have a solid base for what we are going to define like in the future. Yeah. Thanks.
Good evening, and I namaskars to each one of you. Good evening to my fellow panelists seated here. Purushotham ji, Professor Padma has presented some of the issues concerning the state universities. I'll add a few more from my side. While we welcome the establishment of the skill university run by the government, surely, yes, we need one. Andhra Pradesh government needs one. We also, I join my friend and my colleague, Professor Padma Garu, in expressing our deep appreciation for the initiative taken by the state government in this direction. And since morning, I had the joy of listening to various industry experts, academicians regarding the skilling aspect. But let me tell you, there are many practical difficulties while we implement anything. Take this national education policy. This single major program has caused a number of practical issues, practical problems in the implementation, particularly for the administrators, vice-chancellors, and the rest of the administrative team. For the students choose one major. There are 64 elective subjects open to the students. Think of the university examination cell preparing syllabus for 64 different electives, then model question papers. All these things are a big burden to the administration, even to the state government indirectly in the implementation of the policy. Therefore, we need to be a little cautious while proposing these different, even skill-related programs. The number has to be, should not be too large. Otherwise, handling will be little tough. And I also take this opportunity because there are officials from the government, particularly the skill department heads are here. I take this opportunity to share that a central portal connecting universities and the industry is badly needed. When the Andhra Pradesh government thought of this recruitment for various universities, state universities, a portal was created and things were made easy for the university administrators to implement the activity. In the same way, I am of the opinion that creating a portal connecting the state universities and the industry would be of value, immense value and benefit to us to get connected to the industry people. Whatever gap we are talking about, particularly between the academia and the universities and the industry, I'm sure with that kind of initiative, it will help in reaching out to each other. The other thing is, since morning, I'm a person from biology background. We talked a lot about engineering students, skilling, upskilling, reskilling. These are some of the terms I picked up by way of listening. And I also heard about skilling of school students from various panelists. I also heard about skilling of ITI students in our state, various initiatives and all. Fine. But I'm of the opinion that skill should be introduced for all programs. Some component of skill. Professor Padma mentioned about some of the courses which are fading. For instance, 25, 30 years ago, when I was a student, the physics subject used to attract a lot of students. It had a very high enrollment. One of the subjects for which the competition was very high those days. Today, there are no takers. And in an open meeting recently, when Visit Bharat was organized, one of the IIT directors openly said that there are no takers for physics program even in an higher institution like IIT. So the need of the hour is we have to think of restructuring such programs, add some skill components, maybe a part of material science and other things can be added to these things if we have to go a little bit into detail. And this is one thought that comes to my mind. The other thing is app development. It can be taught from first year of, we are anxiously waiting for the faculty recruitment, we are understaffed. And with the introduction of new programs with all the skill component, it's surely going to be difficult for us unless this aspect is also taken care of. And, while I was coming to Vizag from Machilipatnam the other day, I was looking into Hindu newspaper. In this, it was mentioned that Satya Nadella, Chairman CEO, he stated that by 2025, 20 lakh Indians are going to be trained by Microsoft. They would provide AI skilling opportunities for Indian students and other persons. So the picture for engineering students is quite rosy. The efforts of the state government also is mostly for the engineering and other related disciplines. So my appeal to all the people here, particularly those in the industry, please do think of other programs. And when I looked into the data relating to HSS, Humanities and Social Sciences students, they're doing quite well as the engineering students in countries like Canada. And they're also well placed. They're getting good salaries on par with the engineering students. And our focus should also be on other skills like adaptability, learning skills, which are needed in a government job. While we emphasize on technical skills, learning skills, soft skills and all, my appeal is we need to also focus on these areas like adaptability and learning skills. And you may disagree with me when I say this. Artificial intelligence cannot replicate the complexity of human emotion or the individuality of human expression. And while we all agree the usefulness, the way in which these programs, the new technologies are going to overtake these things, simultaneously, we have to focus on the social science and the humanities. With these thoughts, thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I pass on the mic to you.
Thank you, Professor. I completely agree with your statement, what you have made, like there is no disagreement. So as you said rightly, there should be a clear emphasis on the other subjects other than the STEM subjects, what we have been talking about since morning. So I just, last panelist on this group, I request Mr. Sachin Kumar to respond on this. So what is the prominence of English in terms of like where we are? AP is always seen as a most English speaking state as well as technology driven, technology adopting state. Even the Coursera Global Skill Report recently mentioned that we are ranking at 4th in terms of skill proficiency, in terms of IT as well as English. So where do you see, in terms, we have been talking about vocational education, how is this English skills is going, or any 21st century skills are going to complement this aspect?
Sure. Thank you for having me here, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So I agree with you. AP is certainly a progressive state in terms of the be it the technical skills or English proficiency, but there is always a scope for improvement. We understand that students are not a homogeneous group. Students come from different backgrounds. Some of them have more exposure just because they are residing in cities or even tier 2 towns, and there may be lots of other students who come from rural areas and who can be very strong when it comes to technical skills and functional skills, but language is something which they always face the challenge of, and English language is important. I cannot really emphasize on that point enough. We all are talking in English since morning. It's a Telugu speaking state. I come from a Hindi speaking state, and we had speakers from different parts of the country, but we all are connecting through English language. Same happens in corporate world as well. If the students are going for a job outside their home state, English is the language that basically connects. So it is extremely important, but and I apologize in advance if I end up hurting someone, that not enough importance is given by lots of academic institutions to communication skills in its overall role when it comes to employment, employability quotient of a particular student. And we know that all universities are also not at the same level. There are some who are doing really well on that front, whereas there are others who are not really focusing on that particular aspect. So English language skills are certainly very important, and what we are doing as English Score is we are working with lots of universities across the country. We are working with lots of corporates, and we are working with lots of state governments as well, and primarily solving the challenge of testing English proficiency at the scale and how it can be done without actually spending much money. Because that is not really considered a priority, so not many resources are also allocated to that particular field. So we are testing English proficiency through a mobile application, so that institutions, universities, colleges, and the governments need not to spend a lot of money on building the infrastructure and then maintaining the infrastructure. So we are doing the testing of English proficiency, helping the students in acquiring a relevant level of English proficiency, and then providing them certification from British Council, which they can add, the students can add to their profiles, resumes, and present it to the potential employers across the world. But yeah, slowly and gradually, more and more institutions, more and more states are also coming up with such initiatives. And as far as the Skill University project of AP State is concerned, skilling at a large scale in India is that model is yet to succeed in any particular state. So lots of trial and error is going to happen. Lots of states are trying that. Tamil Nadu is doing a great job. Lots of other states are also doing a great job. So it's a fantastic model, having lots of skill hubs in all the assembly constituencies, and having one major center for upskilling in all parliamentary constituencies, and then one university which can basically take care of it. Then I heard MD sir mention that one app is also being developed, which can basically bring all the employers, service providers, students at one platform, and kind of solve the challenge of connecting the right person to the right kind of resource. But as Mr. RCM Reddy mentioned, and he is a veteran of skills industry, execution is always a challenge, and when we are working at a statewide project that were in a state which is bigger than many European countries actually. So diversity is there, different sort of requirement, different sort of challenges are there. So I'm sure it will be executed and we'll see great success, but certainly there'll be some changes, some learning, then redoing the things and then doing it again. That is my suggestion.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Sachin. So AP government is committed towards that. Like, we have been conducting such kind of conclaves to go away with the trial and error thing. So we have to go with the proper planning. Reason why there is a discussion on like skills university establishment, especially. Thank you so much for your inputs. With this, I conclude the panel discussion. I thank every panelist who have conveyed their opinion. Your points have been noted, sir. We'll definitely try to create one model in the coming days, which will be fruitful for the entire state. Thank you so much. One second.
Thanks, Mr. Purushotham Kumara, the Senior Consultant, Government of Andhra Pradesh, and all the esteemed panelists who have joined for this session. I would like to invite Mr. K. Dinesh Kumar, ED, APSSDC, and Additional Director General, NSC, to kindly come on stage and hand over a small token of appreciation to all our esteemed speakers. We can start with Professor Prasanta Kumar Mohanty, Vice-Chancellor, Centurion University of Technology and Management. A huge round of applause for him, please. Professor Padma Raju, Vice-Chancellor, Adikavi, Nannaya University. Professor G. Gnana, Vice-Chancellor, Krishna University. Chahat Mishra, Head International Relations and Strategic Development, Oxford University. And Mr. Sachin Kumar, Country Manager, English School. And also to the moderator of this session, Purushotham Kumara, Senior Consultant, Center for Strategic Planning and Governance, Government of Andhra Pradesh. And you all can have a group photo together. All the esteemed speakers. A group photo, please. That's a gift from Andhra Pradesh to all esteemed speakers. Thank you so much. It has been a long day, but a fruitful day indeed. We got a lot of insights, lot of knowledge, and I think the mantra will be, let's